Brittany's here. Happy Wednesday, or whenever you're watching this video, happy something, right? All right, so today I want to talk about the system that I use to set intentions. So, how do you actually set intentions, or what's the process for that? And the reason I want to talk about that is because I feel like a lot of people are just like, sit down and they're like, I'm just going to write this out, right? And for me, in order to make the intentions more meaningful and focused and actually like authentic to me, there's more of a system and a process. It's super simple and easy though. I'm not talking like coding systems and processes or anything like that. So let's just jump right into it. Um, if you're watching this video live, it's like mid-January, and I know most people are like, don't you set your intentions like at the beginning of January for New Year's resolutions? And I kind of did. I had a list of ones like over like that break between Christmas and New Year's. But I didn't really share my process, which is what I'm going to do today, because I had a break from work because I'm teaching. So I had a lot of time during that week to like sit and process and simmer and like think about things. Plus, my power was out. So that gave me a good opportunity to do it, to sit down and like actually write it out. But usually, I actually don't end up getting my intentions done till like mid January, anyways, because I don't really start thinking about that until like New Year's resolutions has already come and passed. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I should like think about that. Right. Busy mom life. So here's the system that I use. And if you want to use it, that's why I'm sharing. If you want to tweak it and make it your own, I love it. So take what you want, leave what you don't want. Here's what I do. Okay, so the first thing is allowing myself and giving myself that time and space for that reflection period, right? To let my intentions for the next year actually sit and simmer and incubate, right? Like just, I don't know, wiggle around my brain a little bit. Okay. So it's almost like I kind of have two drafts, right? Like my quick, here's what I want for the year off the top of my head, write it out. And then I go through this reflection process of like looking at them and thinking about them. And here's what happens during that time. Really thinking about, here's some like questions that I ask myself. Here, so like, what do I want? And if you're live and you want to type this in the chat for other people to see, that would be great. If not, no big deal. I know it's early where I'm at, so it's probably early where you're at too. If you're in the US anyway. So what do I want and what do I don't want? So for me, like if I'm doing this for the year, right, starting in January, but this works anytime. Like it can be June. And if you just want to recheck in on your intentions or a major change happens in your life and you need to recenter, like you can do this anytime, right? You could do this weekly if you wanted. What do I want and what do I don't want? This is important because sometimes we just write down things that we want, but we're not taking into account the things we don't want or the things we want to let go of or release. So like, it's just as important to say like, what do I not want? Right? What didn't work for me in the previous year that I want to let go of or release? What do I want? What do I want to make sure that I'm bringing in? Like, what do I want? What do I want to continue doing and having and being? Right? And what do I not want? Okay. Also, this is the time to think about what your values are and reconnect with those. Make sure they align. And a value I think of as just like any readers here where you talk about like the theme of a book, right? And a lot of times theme is like a one-word message: love, courage, bravery. That's what I think about with values, only it's like our life, right? Like if our life was the book, what would the theme be? Right? So what do you value so that your intentions can match your values? Right? And I talked about this in a reel yesterday, that if I said like, I want to be more adventurous, adventurous isn't necessarily a value I hold, So if that's going to be my intention, I would need to connect it to one of my other values and word it in a way that connects to another value other than like being adventurous and exploring, right? Uh what do you stand for? Like what's really important to you, right? That kind of goes with your value, and then why do you want those things, right? If your intention is like I want to make more money, right? I feel like that's most of us out there. We're like, yeah, I could use more money. Have you seen the price of groceries? It's not necessarily just enough to be like, I want more money. In, this next year I intend to have more money. It's I want more money so that I can. I want more money so that I can afford groceries without going into debt. I want more money so that I can pay for my kids' sports and extracurricular activities, or I can give them opportunities, or I want more money so that I can travel and see family, right? The why behind it. And I just use so that. I learned that from teaching. When you post learning goals, why are we learning this? So that we can do this, right? It's an easy word trick. Okay, so that's the first step is like reflecting, right? What's working, what's not working, what do I want, what do I not want? Like, why is this important to me? Kind of those big idea questions. So the second step is to actually like craft the statement. And when crafting the statement, I pretty much have two standards or criteria. One is I write them like I already embody that or I already have that. So kind of like in that present moment. Um, if that's hard, like if your brain is like, no, 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 a lot of inner like critic happening, you can say like I choose, or you can even sometimes say I remember because if it's already happened, then our brains can actually like catch on to that and hold on to that more. All right. So if you're crafting the statement, the first one is present tense. So I do, I have, I am. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anyone I make. Okay, now I will, right? Because that's not, I don't know, there's just something that happens when it's in present tense versus future tense, right? Future tense is like, it's in the future. It hasn't happened yet. It might not ever happen. Where like present tense, it's like, no, it's happening right now, right? You're bringing it to you right now. Okay. So that's the first standard. So if you're watching live or on the replay, you can put like present tense in the statement and positive. Okay, so this is even though we like looked at like what we want and what we don't want, we want to make sure that our statements are like positive in what we want so that we're attracting what we want and not what we don't want, right? Because the things we think about are the things we take action towards and the things that manifest in our lives. So, if you hate your job and you're like, I don't want this job, I want something new, on your intention, like, we don't want to write, like, I don't want this job, right? Um, so it would be like, I have a new job that blank, 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 right? Like, what is it? What's the positive statement, right? Or like, I don't want to be in debt, right? That's a good, like, I think a good, like, negative way of writing something. Like, I don't want to be in debt, but what do you want instead, right? I want financial freedom. I want to trying to think of like how did you say I don't want to owe people money, right? I make enough money to live independently, right? Without depending on other people or businesses or anything like that. That's just another example. And my third step is to focus on the feeling. Sorry, my alarm's going off. Focus on the feeling and outcome. Okay, so when you have these things, what does that actually feel like? What type of emotion does it bring up? And where do you feel that in your body? Right? How will it feel? so that when you're taking steps towards your intentions and you're kind of in the mucky, messy middle, you're like, oh, why am I doing this again? You can refer back to that, right? It's kind of like that feeling of like, how will I feel after this is accomplished? And that's huge. Like for me, I do that when I do tasks I don't want to do. Like it helps me actually start and like stay motivated of like, oh, I really don't want to work on this. Do I have to? And then I'm like, how's it going to feel when it's done? Oh, it's going to feel like this, I'm going to feel relieved. I'm going to feel less stress. I'm going to feel excited. I'm going to feel like clean. Um, so like focusing on the outcome. All right. So if you're watching live, like focus on feeling of outcome is how I would phrase it. So that's basically it. Those three things. Give yourself reflection time to think about what you want, what you don't want. Why do you want the things you want? What will it provide to you? What will it provide to your family and those around you? Right. Actually crafting the statement in a way that focuses on the present moment and is positive, right? And these you can add as much detail as you want. If you're a list person, you can create a list. If you're a paragraph person or like a journaling and you like want to create a story, go for it. If you're a vision board and you want pictures, feel free to do that also, right? It's not about like what it looks like. It's more about what are you getting out of it. So you do you. And then the third step is focus on the feeling and outcome. What is it going to feel like when these intentions come to fruition? Right, if I'm saying that right. All right, that's it. You guys have the best day. If you want to share some of your intentions in the comments, I would love to hear them so that I can like cheer you on for that and vote your victory and all of that good stuff. All right, you guys have the best day and the best week. Until next time, bye bye.